Cohen Parole Law Firm. For almost 40 years, Gary Cohen has helped represent incarcerated individuals throughout Texas obtain parole and fight parole revocations. We protect those who have fallen short of perfection from the wrath of those who believe they have attained it. For more information about Gary Cohen and his associates, Alan Bennett and Gene Anthis, you can find it at the website, parolelaw.com. You may also contact them at 512 476 6201.
Welcome to Politics Done Right. My name is Egberto Willis, your host. Good morning, Houston. Good morning, Harris County. Good morning to the great state of Texas. And of course, good morning to our country, the United States of America. Good morning to the world. Good morning to every nook and cranny receiving our 100,000 watt or our show from that 100,000 watt transmitter all through our area. Good morning to Galveston. Good morning to everywhere. Everywhere. We're going to have a great show for you today. Good morning, Paul Fleming from Atlanta, Georgia. Paul Fleming Sr., you're here early, my friend. Well, in Atlanta, it's already 7 o'clock. So I guess it's not all that early for you, my brother. Anyway, we are going to have a great show for you today. I want you to remember that in as much as we are in Fund Drive right now, we are going to make sure to talk to you. We're going to make sure to have a good time. We're going to make sure to be as insightful as possible. We want, by the time you leave the show, that you leave the show with two feelings. One, positive about yourself, positive about America, and understanding that we inherently have the power to make things right. No matter who we are, we play a part in this game called life. We play a part in this game called Americana. So, anyhow, folks, how is everybody doing this morning? I trust you're doing well. Last night, every night before the show, I prepare the program, etc. And I'll be very, very honest with you. I had a problem choosing the topics that we're going to talk about today. And the reason I had a problem with the topics is that there are so many things that seem to be bogging us down. And then immediately the topic came out. It's just one topic that encompasses everything. And that one topic that encompasses everything, I title, and maybe I can get to my screen here. One sweet title is What Kind of America Do You Want? What kind of America do we want? And that's what we're going to talk about. The kind of America, I'm not, I honestly am not pushing this, but I just want to mention it because it's apropos. I guess it was year and a half ago or so, I wrote this book called How to Make America Utopia, Take Away the Economy from Those Who Rigged It. And I remember when I was putting it together and I was getting the title together, a friend of mine said, utopia is a bad name. People are going to think that you're talking about something that is unattainable. To which I said, no, I want people to start thinking about the attainable, and that attainable, those things that are attainable, is in fact our utopia. I mean, imagine if we were to adopt what we call the real progressive manifesto, not the caricature that's made of those who want good things. Yesterday, I can't play it anytime soon because we're in Fund Drive. But yesterday I interviewed somebody that most of you would ask, Egberto, how comes that person appeared on your show? And the name of the guy that I interviewed is James B. Lockhart III. I think you probably see this guy on CNN, Fox News. You also see him on just about every news channel when we're talking about Social Security. And why do you see this guy when we talk about Social Security? Because these guys are uh, these guys are that way. Anyway, it seems like we have Joe on the line. So before I continue, I'll go ahead and go to Joe. They're having to tell me kind of manually who's on the line. So come on in, Joe. How are you doing this morning, sir?
Oh man, I've been better, Egberto.
What's wrong?
Called really early. I didn't mean to. I didn't mean to. It sounds like it's going to be a really good show, and I kind of cutting against the grain of it with this morning. But real quickly, I've talked in the past about um, so-called transgender people are actually mentally ill, in my
Mm-hmm.
opinion, and you guys kind of everybody kind of dismissed it, and I dismissed it too, 20, 25 years ago when gay folks said we just want to get married, that's all we want to do, we want to be treated as equals, right? But fast forward 25 years and it seems like things are out of control, man. I mean, we just had what I call a Texas mass shooting, which is where the shooter gets about 3 steps and dies in a hail of gunfire, over at Lakewood Church. And I mean, my mom lives in the shadow of Lakewood Church. I grew up in the shadow of the summit right there, right?
Mm-hmm.
And, you know, just looking around, I found some research that came out this year that said that 81.4% of people who request sex reassignment surgery have one or more personality disorders by a test, personality inventory test, and that half of them have three or more personality disorders. And I was just kind of thinking that I think that progressives and Democrats, that they're looking at it all wrong, because this appears to be like a mental illness. And and what makes me even sadder is that, let's say it is a mental illness. Well, look at the Surgeon General of the United States. It's a guy wearing a dress. Where can you go to get help, psychological help that you need, in this environment these days? And I don't know if their frustration has led somebody, a transgender man, to go into Lakewood Church with a rifle and holding a child, but it seems like many of in the last couple of years, there's like 10 shootings involving, mentally ill, so-called trans people. So, it's hit home. And
All right.
so let's rather than attack the guns, which is everybody, all the left knee jerk, let's go after this mental illness. I think that's, if it can be treated, let's maybe treat people and alleviate their suffering.
Joe,
Uh, but
I
anyway,
think stay
go
on the
ahead.
phone. Don't leave. Uh, you sound, not you sound, I know you are a good guy. Okay? No doubt whatsoever. And I made you say everything that you wanted to say this morning on the issue that is bothering you. I want to know where you got the information about this person being transgender, and where did you get the information? Because I mean, there was some information with disguising of names. I know that, but how did we jump the gun to before the report is out to assume that this person is transgender?
I got it from law enforcement sources.
Okay, so you have some force sources that haven't yet revealed that this guy was transgender. Okay, that's fine. I take that. Now, throughout the country right now, there's a lot of violence, a whole lot of violence. And when I'm saying this, I'm not saying this from a statistical point of view, but I'm talking about in any country, there's a whole lot of violence. If you take and calculate the amount of violence effected by transgender persons, it's actually not, numerically, it is minute, not even relative to their population size. I played this several times, and I wish you would go back to one, or maybe if you drop me an email, I could send you the numbers that you can verify yourself. There is this transgender lawyer in Florida. Well, she lives in both Florida and New York. That really got fed up, and I have to pitch in a little bit, Joe, but I want to address this because this is very important the way you framed it. This transgender lawyer in that lives in Miami and New York went ahead and said, you know what,
Know who you mean?
I need to go ahead and get the data. And what she did is she started to pick up every single report throughout the entire country of people who harm children. So this one was restricted to people who harm children. One of the biggest things that people who are very opposed or anti-trans, etc., tends to pick up on. And it was not the transgender people when you take a look at the number. They are sensationalized, but it wasn't them. And let me tell you why I take this personally to heart. I just wrote a book called uh, uh, Tribulations of a Latino, Afro Caribbean. Afro Latino Caribbean man. This book I just wrote. And within that, what I wanted to show, and why I'm telling you what you said hits home, it's because those of us that find ourselves in America as minorities, now remember, uh, people like myself are not minorities, but in America we are. And several times we have to fight that thing where if one person of that group does something, somehow it is plastered against that group as a whole. It is it is never true that that is the case, but it happens because we go ahead and attach a certain part of our carnality, that survival mechanism that we've been born with as human beings. uh, we get into that and we fear these things. Now, I don't know. You're probably right. Let's say the shooter at the church, Olton's church, was trans. Is that probative? I don't think so. Most of the other shootings throughout Texas had nothing to do with trans or anything like that. San Antonio, Corpus Christi, all these shooters were just your regular average persons. I mean, I don't even cop into the belief about, well, the white guy is the one who goes and shoot the places up. Because I did some statistics on my own, and it turns out that, well, if you look at the population size, the killers, while we sensationalize that as well. So I think, Joe, what I'm trying to tell you is let's be careful. Let's be careful about that. Okay, my brother? Let's just be careful.
I agree. I agree. Let's be careful because what we say here in public on the airwaves matters. And
And
you have
and
a
and
you have
that's
a
why wait, and
responsibility.
that's why I made you speak, and that's why I answered your full comment, sir. And that's what we do here. So I appreciate you. I appreciate you calling in. And please let's all get media, I mean, from all sources, because I sure as hell do. I listen to Fox News, I listen to MSNBC, I listen to CNN, I listen to even OAN, man. So, let's do that. But thank you for calling in, Joe.
Hey, I feel a whole lot better today after calling and unburdening myself. Have a great day, Egberto.
All right, thank you, brother. You have a good day. Anyway, folks, I got to do some pitching. Listen, folks, please call 713-526-5738. And yes, you can hit extension 2 to talk to me. I love you. I love talking to you. But you know what else I need, folks? Yesterday, I missed my quota of, well, Sandy said 400 yesterday. Last time he told me 500 is my quota per day. I'm on 5 days a week and I have a high quota to meet. Yesterday, we missed it royally. So I want to ask you so kindly to call 713-526-5738, extension number 1 to contribute. And I have it on the screen right now that I get to thank you right here on air if you don't mind me doing so. Of course, if you don't want me to thank you or you want to use a pseudonym or whatever, just tell the person, hey, I don't want to use my name, and I'll make sure not to do that. 713-526-5738, extension number 1. And please, there are a lot of things you can do. If you can get the Politics Done Right t-shirt with the KPFT logo for, guess what? You can get it for $100. You can all, and by the way, you don't have to pay that all at once. You can also get a brick. You can keep your name immortally here at KPFT by subscribing to us for $25 a month, and you get a 4x4 brick that is here para la eternidad, for eternity. Or you can get the 8x8 brick for $50 a month. Now, I have this thing that I've been doing lately, and it has worked out pretty well. I've gone out with a few people. It's have coffee with Egberto. Just go ahead, and when you call 713-526-5738, you can have coffee, for $250, you can have coffee with Egberto. And look, I'm an easygoing guy, easy to talk to. I guarantee you'll have fun. I guarantee I listen. I guarantee I talk as well. And we have a bi-directional communication, and it's fun. Whether you're shy or not, guess what? I'm easy to talk to. 713-526-5738, extension number 1. So give us a call. Give us a call. We need to hear from you. I don't have any contributors yet, but I need contributors to keep this program on air. Let's go to Brother Johnny, the mayor of Politics Done Right. Good morning, Johnny. How are you doing this morning, sir?
I've already contributed 4 weeks ago, 6 weeks ago.
I appreciate you, Johnny. Thank you so kindly.
2 items for our brother Joe. Joe, if you're listening, I want you to know that the vast majority of mentally ill people are not violent. And number 2, if you're going to be worried about mental illness, your thought process, you're being brainwashed, you're being deflected. So what you should worry about are people who are being misinformed, grossly ignorant, and angry, which is not mental illness. And I'll give you an example. Over in the West Bank, we have a bunch of Israeli citizens that they like to refer to themselves as settlers. They've been settling that land since I was a teenager. It doesn't take long to settle a piece of land that's teeny tiny. What they're doing when they quote unquote settle is they commit gross violence. They bully, they kill, they burn people out of their homes, they bulldoze homes. That is not mental illness. That's misinformation. That's brainwashing. And now in the news, we're seeing lots of evidence of Israeli citizens saying, I didn't know that my government was misinforming me. Finally, people are waking up. To be woke is a blessing, not a curse.
Actually, I like the statement, to be woke is a blessing. You see, what happened is, like many of the right wing redefined the word liberal, that liberals themselves were scared to use liberal. It is something that we have to fight against, right? We have to make sure to recapture the words to give them their appropriate meaning. Liberal means I support everybody, liberal or progressive, whichever one you want to call. Although I prefer the word progressive because we do quite a bit more. So it is important that we do that, and exactly as you said, we have to be careful for the misinformation. And one of the ways to do that, Johnny, though, is to build this thing called trust, right? You build your circle of trust, and you keep growing your circle of trust. I think that's what we are doing here, building these circles of trust. So, Johnny, I do
I
appreciate you
hope so. I
calling.
hope he trusts you, and I hope he trusts me. He's been
Johnny,
listening
come
to us.
on. Johnny, how the hell can you be the mayor of Politics Done Right if I don't trust you, man? Think
Yeah,
about it.
but that was the position. I didn't earn it.
Yeah, no, you earned it. I mean, you've been calling me from the time we were at KPFT on, oh my God, I forgot the street that we were on.
I
Oh
was just
man,
Love it.
love it. Oh, whoa, you are in the house, brother Howard. Hey, I gotta let you go right now, my brother Johnny. I want to get some word in here from Brother Howard. I thought he was still out today, but I want him to do a little bit of pitching and talking. I didn't welcome our geniuses this morning. Come on in,
I know
Howard.
we were sitting back here waiting with bated breath to talk to Egberto and get on the show and maybe
No,
reach, but no.
brother. No, I thought you were having phone problems and I didn't want to mess with your flow. So
We
please,
were.
folks, we're doing this in the middle. We're going to start with Howard and then we're going to get Brother Van Beber's word and then we'll go to Donald. Go ahead.
Well, folks, we were experiencing this morning is some phone problems because we have a used phone system that we had to buy off of eBay for cheap. So this should inspire someone to make a donation to KPFT so we can get a better phone system. And then we'll work on the
Yes,
program.
yes, yes. But Van Beber, look, before we go to Donald, Van Beber, I want to
Yeah,
hear
yeah,
your word
Jack
of
is here.
wisdom.
Well, he has a whole page full of wisdom here.
I
So
want to hear it.
let's get wise.
Okay, well, this is your piece this morning you sent me about what kind of America. The kind of America I'd like to see is an America with a balanced Supreme Court, an American government that does not go to war to please the corporate industrialists, an America that is respected, not feared, an America that honors and respects all of its citizens, an America that does not seek to rule other nations militarily or economically, an America without the fascist corporate motive infiltrating more and more of our lives.
Oh my God, I love that. I love that. Hey, do me a favor. I need a favor. I need a favor. Hey,
Okay, which
uh, listen, Howard, please take a
yes.
picture of brother Van Beber right there in the studio and send it to me because that is a new meme with those words going in a short. I love the way that sound and I love the way you articulate it. Please do that. I ask you so kindly. Let's go to Donald.
Good morning, Alberto. How are you?
I am doing fine. How are you doing, Donaldo?
Good, good.
Talk to
You
me.
got a new book coming out, and it's about your journey, right?
Yes.
Okay. Did you put in there whenever you arrived and wherever it was you started in college, and somebody said "Howdy, neighbor," and it upsets you?
Yes, that. Hey, you know what? I love you, man. You actually listen to my stories. Man, you're good. Actually, yes, sir. That is in there as well. Actually, that is in one of the first chapters
I,
because that was my genesis into America. Anyway, talk to me, brother.
I know. So you think we like going out to those people too? I used to get sent out there to work on farms and everything. I would
Mm-hmm.
show up to the polo pullover and my boat shoes, and by the end of the day, I'd be fighting with somebody. So it's just a different type of people. I got to tell you, that's why I was raised in the greatest city in the world because it's diversity.
Yes, yes, yes.
And the next thing, did you ever read The Great Dictator speech or did you watch it? I'm going to call you out on this one.
You're gonna have to
Charlie
call me out on it because I hadn't had the
did a
time. But talk
speech.
to me.
You have got to listen to it. You've got 1938 to 1940 in the middle of the war, and he makes the movie making fun of Hitler. So that's something you've got to listen to his speech. It's going to move you.
Okay,
But you know
okay.
what? I've got a saying. It's the what ifs. You know what? The what ifs and all this other garbage. If my auntie had testicles, she'd be my uncle. And you know what? When she's around, I think she's got my uncles in her purse because he acts totally different when she's around. So that's all I got to say.
Okay, wait, hold on a second. Hold
Oh,
on a second. I don't want to get in trouble again. So if our
I
beautiful
know.
Melissa is listening, Melissa, I want you to call the brother out. Okay? Have a good one, Donald.
Oh no! What I was going to tell Melissa is, if you got the best song ever written was by Prince, and it's about control. And if people
Yeah.
would teach their kids this at an early age, the world would be a better place because you got to
Thank
get your education before everything else. All right, later.
Thank you, Donald. All right, folks, please give us a call 713-526-5738. We are in Fund Drive, and I'm gonna ask Howard to give a pitch, but let me talk to Augie first, and then we'll go ahead and continue. But folks, please give us a call. I'm at a big donut. You guys like the show, don't you? You want the show to stay on, right? Be the one that's going to give us a call, 713-526-5738, extension 1. Guess what? Augie did it. Even Brother Joe did it. Many of you did it. Please give us a call. Let's go ahead and get this thing rolling. I want who's going to be the first for me to call out and ring the bells and all of that. 713-526-5738 extension 1, or you can do it on the website kpft.org and just go ahead and donate, and you make sure to put politics done right as the show you're supported. Hermano mío, hermano Agustín, ¿cómo estás?
Hey, Hermano, and Howard and Jack. I was thinking about Joe. When I grew up in the 50s and 60s, it's real conservative and they're anti-gay with the major attitude here in Texas. But then I went to college and I met my first gay person, and they're just regular human beings.
Yeah.
And then when I moved to Houston, I worked in the Montrose for about 12 years, and I met transgender and all kinds of gay folks, and none of them were violent. And that lady that shot up in Lakewood, the police chief didn't say anything about her being transgender, and that little boy was her son, and probably he was shot by the police.
Yeah.
Joe was saying something about mental health problems. Well, the Republicans aren't going to give you any mental health. There are a lot of people out there that can't get their kids into mental health programs because the Republicans keep shutting down everything. They cut down funding for mental health here in Texas, starting with George W. when he became governor. The second week he was here, he shut down a nationally recognized mental health program in Tyler, Texas. And just recently, a couple months ago, there was a hospital here with a mental health ward that has shut it down because of funding.
Let me add to that, Augie. I really interrupted you for this reason, because it's important for folks like Brother Joe to get this right. Notice when Joe talked about before we look at the guns, we need to look at the mental health issue. I disagree with that, but we're in a democracy. So let's say most people want the guns, etc., and the compromise is that, well, yeah, the only people who commit crimes with guns, let's say, are the people who need mental health. Let's go ahead and postulate to that. All right. Here is the problem. The same people, specifically the governor of Texas, who goes out and say, "Oh, it's mental illness." That same year, he cut mental illness funding throughout the state of Texas. So what I'm saying is, when we talk about make sure you are getting informed, all right, let's go ahead and assume that you are correct. Now, does your budget reflect your values? Since you believe in the guns and all of that, and since you think that the guns are the problem with guns and the crimes committed with it is because of mental illness, then wouldn't you be funding that, especially in a state that has a surplus? You would think so, but we don't. So for those, look, you have your right to your ideology, but let's make sure that it's consistent. And before I forget, I want to thank El Señor Marco. Thank you for being the first person to contribute this morning with that kind contribution, which is you have leveraged your contribution, Marco, because guess what? It is being matched. Your contribution is being, because you went for what is called a sustainer. We got an extra $50 on top of that. Thank you so kindly, Marco. Marco, who will join Marco and become a sustainer, or just go ahead and donate to our program? 713-526. I'm coming back to you, Augie. 713-526-5738. Again, that number is 713-526-5738. Hit extension number 1 to donate. But if you want, you can also go to our website, kpft.org, and click donate, please be sure to let it be known that it's in the not it doesn't come to me, but it's for to support the show Politics Done Right. Augie, continue. Sorry to interrupt you.
No problem. But yeah, from my 12 years of being around all these gay people and transgender, uh, they're not violent at all. It's the Trump supporters that are violent. I have a guy that I used to go to high school with. He's on Facebook, and posted that I'll solve my problem with a gun. It wasn't a
There you
gay
go.
person. It was a
There you go. Anyway,
supporter.
Augie,
And I had to reply to him and say, "You don't solve problems with guns." Then after that, he just uh, softened his views after that.
hey, Augie,
Yeah, churchgoer.
thank you, brother. As one of our premier contributors to KPFT, because you are not only a contributor to Politics Done Right, but you contribute to all the shows that you love. Why do you do that?
Oh, because well, I started originally with the music. I was worked for a phone company, had a company truck, changing the dial on the radio, and I came across this station. They had great music, and then all of a sudden, started listening to talk shows, all the different talk shows, and I learned a lot of stuff from each one about all kinds of different uh, topics in years. And then I started getting involved because I got children of my own, and they're adults now. And my parents, when I left home, they told me to vote, but they didn't tell me one party or the other to vote for. They just told me know who and what you're voting, and that's what I told my kids and grandkids who are turning 18 now. Told them get out
Great.
there and vote, and make sure you know who and what you're voting for.
Augie, first of all, I want to say we appreciate you and we appreciate all our donors and we appreciate all our listeners. Not everybody can donate, but if you can donate and you listen and you find value in what we do, please call 713-526-5738, extension number 1. Thank you, Augie. Let's go to Brother Sandy, our general manager here at KPFT. Hermano mío, ¿cómo estás? Come on in, brother.
It's early in the morning. Good
Yes, it
morning,
is.
Alberto. How are you?
I'm doing fine, brother. Talk to me.
Well, let's see. Today is Tuesday. It was the next Tuesday will be the last Tuesday of the drive, I sincerely hope. So we're kind of in the middle of things here, coming up on the 1/3 poll, actually, in terms of our goal of 150,000. We've got a little ways to go to get to that 1/3, that $50,000 mark. And here we are. 713-526-5738, option 1, or kpft.org. Lively discussion this morning. Augie, good morning to you. Good to hear your voice. For those of you that listen to the show, that participate in this show in the morning to air your views and have those discussions on air, I hope you find value in all of this. I hope it sheds some light on maybe opinion or differing sides of a discussion that can help continue that discussion and come to compromises and successful outcomes, even on this Wednesday. Just we don't have to worry about next month or next week. Let's worry about today. And let's worry about today in terms of our funding here at KPFT. The lifeblood of KPFT for nearly 54 years is listener funding. Are these fund drives from which the listener funding comes from. So here we are in our winter thankathon in 2024, having started this great experiment way back in 1970 and on March 1st. And we're here today still because of that funding. So I'm asking you, continue that strength. Continue the endeavor of free speech community radio, commercial-free radio, with volunteers like Egberto, your friends and neighbors that come and talk to you from behind the mic, that bring their content and air it out on the 100,000 watt FM 90.1 and stream it worldwide, kpft.org. It ain't cheap, it ain't free, but it sure is worth it. 713-526-5738, option 1, or kpft.org. And as I gaze at the tote board this morning, I can see that you've gotten a couple pledges already, Egberto, at least one.
I
So
got
that's pretty
one
good.
from Marco, and he's a new listener and he's a sustainer. So that means we got an extra $50 on top of his wonderful contribution.
Excellent. And that $50 comes to us from a very anonymous and very generous person out there in the Houston community that's been listening and actually had participated with KPFT some years ago on air as well. And that person realizes the value of the station and wants to see it continue, wants to see it pass forward. So all we're asking of you is your part. If that's a $5 a month donation or even a $5 donation, period, it all adds up. And at the end of the day, the community powers KPFT, not one individual, but very many. In fact, we're looking for 1,000 people in total to donate to this campaign. And as I said, we're a third of the way on, as of tomorrow, the end of today would mark the 1/3 poll. And already 253 people have stepped up to donate. Can you be the next? 713-526-5738, option 1, or kpft.org. Hey, good morning to Howard and good morning to Jack as well, who are manning the board and making this broadcast possible. Thanks to you both and to all the volunteers that allow this stuff to happen.
And thank you to our listenership. We get a lot of feedback. Let me just tell you, we get a lot of feedback, and we try our best to keep up with the feedback as far as what you want, whether you agree, disagree, or whatever. The one thing we try to make sure to let you know is, whether you disagree, agree, whatever, this is your darn radio station, man. And community is people coming around the virtual space and having conversation and listening to good music and of all types. That is what we stand for here. And as you can see, I tell you, one of the things that gives me the most pleasure, knowing that somebody can call up here and say, you know what, they get their platform to say what they want to say, and they say, Egberto, I don't know that I agree with what you're saying here, but you know what, man, I like what we're doing here. And for that, we are supporting the station. 713-526-5738, extension number 1. Extension number 1. And as joined us as well as Eric Hayes on the internet, as well as Paul Fleming. Thank you guys for being here. I don't see my friend out of Barcelona, Spain yet, but Harry seems to be on the line. ¿Cómo estás, mi hermano Harry?
Good morning, Alberto Willis. Like you said, community radio is very important. It's how we learn from each other. Steve Hunter was talking about this topic with the Lakeview Church yesterday, and Howard mentioned that were having problems with the phone because I started off talking about what I was going to talk about on it, but they had a problem with the phone, and I called back, and then Jack said, "Well, we have to get this fixed." So I told him to tell Steve that I would like to talk about it again tomorrow, but I'll just go ahead and talk about it with you right now. This person that did this, I'm sorry that happened. I'm very sad that it happened because I always worry about in these churches. I even worry about in my own church. We had 3 incidents last year. One of the choir singers' car was stolen at the Farmington Church. Another guy, one of the choir singers had 2 tires stolen from their car. And then we had one of the elders' wives' car that was broken into. And this was happening right after my, about a month after my, or 2 of the incidents happened after a month. One of my dear elder friends, Harry Swinton Jr., who got me into this church, had passed away, and we had a funeral for him last year.
Sorry to hear about your friend.
Thank you, Alberto, because I still have his brochure, and I have his with his wife in there, and his wife still comes to the church when she can with her mother every now and then, and I'm always happy when they come there, and I've said things on his behalf on the Tuesday night recharge, and I've told the pastor how dear he is to me. But the pastor has beefed up security there, but I always worry about just going into a place of worship. And even though there is security there and I feel better about it, I always worry about sometimes the security, the police can't
Harry,
always.
Harry,
And I
I'm
worry
sorry to
about
interrupt you. I'm
shop.
sorry to interrupt you, but I'm sorry to interrupt you, but I want to hit on something you said, that you're scared because of churches. You don't want to be patting down people at a church, and when you have a society where everybody, it is so easy to pack it, that is what a lot of people do, and it endanger all of us, even those of us who don't want to pack. So for those who are gun enthusiasts, I don't have anything against you or anything, but think about how those of us who don't, not into the packing feeling or don't want to have a gun around, understand that because we have all these guns, it increases our chances of what occurred in Lakewood and many other places. This is not a gun fight discussion here. This is just a reality that hurts us. Hey, Harry, I need to pitch, so close her out for me, please, my brother.
Okay. I want to comment on Jack's comments, what he said about not having a faster society. He's right on point with that. I believe in DEI. I've mentioned that on this show before, and a fair Supreme Court. But I think the only way we're going to have a fair Supreme Court, if Joe Biden is to get another term, then
Yes.
he's got to expand that court, and we're going to have a fair Supreme Court that's not going to, because the one we have now, many of those conservatives are going to try to strike down and take away things
Thank you,
that progressives and liberals and conservatives need.
Harry. Thank you, brother. I appreciate you and appreciate your call, sir.
Have a good day.
You too, brother. I need to thank Kurt. Thank you so kindly for your kind contribution. Thank you so kindly once again, Kurt. Folks, give us a call at 713-526-5738. And about that vegan, I really love the wordiology that Brother Ben Beber did. I did a short with Ben Beber once before. I think we met at the lake one time, had some burritos, and I made a short with one of his good statements. I kind of like his raspy voice, so I'm going to do another one with the little statement that he just made as well, because I really like that statement. 713-526-5738, extension numero uno. 713-526-5738. By the way, this time I got to bring you some burritos, and we have to go have a little lake chat pretty soon, Brother Jack, when it warms up some, though. I'm from Panama. This cold weather kind of kills me, man. But anyhow, 713-526-5738, extension number 1. Folks, I need about $300 more. I need $300 more. You know how we could get to that quickly? We could get a little bit more than 300 if 2 people sign up for have coffee with Egberto. That's $250 a pop. I know you have some folks out there that's willing to do that. And I'm telling you, we'll have a good time, man. We'll have a good time. 713-526-5738, extension number 1. Hey, have coffee with Egberto. I'll come out. I'll drive out any part in Harris County or Montgomery County or, our adjacent counties and have a coffee with you. 713-526-5738. $250. But here we have some better deals, so I'm going to throw it right back to Sandy. Sandy can say this stuff better than I can, so let's throw it to the general manager, man.
Well, I don't know about that, Egberto. I just know that there's a Johnny Cash tune called the Frozen Lager, and no one but a lager stirs his coffee with his thumb. That's it. Do you stir your coffee with your thumb?
Nah.
Just a question this morning for you, brother.
No, brother, I don't. I stir it. Actually, I just pour the coffee. I drink it black, nothing in it.
So, okay, so you don't need to stir it with your thumb. So you're not a
No.
lager. Just telling everybody that when you have coffee with Egberto does not cut down trees in the forest and does not stir his coffee with his thumb. And Egberto, I got to say that, when Marco called in and did that sustaining trip, he picked up a new logo hoodie, and you mentioned it was chilly this morning. It sure is. And I'm not from Panama. In fact, I'm living in south of Houston right now, but damn, it's cold, and that
Yes.
hoodie comes in handy. That $15 a month donation, Marco, that's so meaningful. And maybe a couple more of you would like that nice piece of apparel. It's warm, it's cozy, it's comfy. It's the new logo hoodie from KPFT. It's got some deep pockets on the side for your stuff when you go wandering out on a chilly morning. And if you got those deep pockets, Egberto's right. Put down a few bucks. You know, it doesn't have to be all $300 or whatever Egberto claims he's short this morning, because whatever it is, we're so far from our overall goal that no matter what you contribute, no matter what it is, it's going to add to the total. And at the end of the day, everybody in Houston that gets together and preserves free speech media on the FM dial, free speech media streaming over the internet, well, you've done your part, and we really appreciate it. Now, there are a few of you out there listening right now. I venture maybe 3 or 4 that have never contributed before, maybe more, maybe 3 or 4,000. For those of you that have never contributed to community radio, think about this for just a moment. You're listening, you're enjoying the content as it goes by. The music is pretty cool. It's independent. It's brought to you by people that know their stuff and bring their library and put it on full display over that 100,000-watt signal. There are shows like this one where you get to participate and hear opinions that, well, not everybody shares, and you get to talk about them. It's pretty cool stuff. It's meant for everybody. It's meant for everybody to fund and participate. So I'm asking you kindly, 713-526-5738. If you already have that hoodie, sign up for $120, get the coffee in the mug, and then you'll be warm by drinking that hot coffee and warm from the hoodie that surrounds you, and the cold, the freezing cold of the Houston winter, where it gets down in the 40s in the morning. Yikes. Upper 30s sometimes. Oh my God. I mean, it won't bug you so much. You won't
Yeah.
feel like a stranger. And with all that, with that warmth, that good feeling, maybe you will start stirring your coffee with your thumb. 713-526-5738, option 1, or kpft.org. And if you're going to stir your coffee with your thumb, make sure it's Colombian Supremo Caroline Blend from KPFT. Take it away, Egberto.
That sounds like you, brother. That sounds like you, brother. But let me tell you, folks,
Have a good time, right?
no, that's good. That's good, man. My daughter does some. My daughter had 2 strokes, and she does some work. Now that she's, her left side is a little bit improved. She still can't use her left hand, but she's improved. She finished medical school, but she won't be able to practice medicine again. She's had 2 strokes, but she's doing something, and now she goes ahead and mentor a kid. I think once or twice a week at the elementary school to kind of do something and not just stay in the house, right? And she really is into this young girl, and she gets her gifts every time she's going over there, etc. And she just looked at me the other day and she said, "Dad, it just feels good to be doing something for somebody." And I mean, I melted, when she said that, I just melted because, anyway, I got to shut up because I need to ask you to donate. 713-526-5738, extension number 1. 713-526-5738, extension number 1. Please, folks, give on, give on, give on. I'm going to start with Bowie on line number 3, and then we'll go to Ali, then Brian. We got to do it really quick, though. Bowie, come on in.
Hello, Egberto.
I thought it
How
was
are you?
you. I thought it was you, and that's why I went ahead and said, I think I know who that is. Talk to me, my
You
dear
know,
beautiful lady.
how are you? How you doing? How
I am
are
fine.
you? Good morning, Houston. Good morning, Houston. You know I'm gonna call when I'm summoned up. Good morning, sir.
Yes.
Summon me.
Yes,
So,
I did.
yeah. So, I just wanted to comment about. You made a comment about people call your station and say, Egberto, I don't agree with you. So that's what I'm gonna say. I don't agree with you. Why? Because I got yet to hear my song I gave to Howard. I ain't hear yet.
Howard, how can you
What
do that to
song?
Melissa?
Howard decided to play with my song, then I'm gonna donate.
Wait a minute. Wait a minute. Wait a minute. What song? I played Black Woman for you.
What did you play it?
I played it last Friday.
Oh,
And I said, this goes to Melissa.
I'm so sorry.
Oh,
I am. I got so pie in my face right now because I didn't hear it, and I've been waiting. I've been humbly waiting quietly.
no, honey, I played it for you. I did.
Bye, y'all. Have a good morning. Oh,
Hey,
I'm sorry. Sorry, message from the youth. Update. One of my girls said that it is wrong for you guys to take her rights for abortion away because even though a teen may make that mistake, it has no reason for you to shut down her entire life or alternate her life because of that one mistake. Okay?
Well,
Thank you.
thank you,
Guys.
beautiful. You know we agree with you, baby. All right, let's go to. Thank you. You have a wonderful day, Ali. I only can give everybody about 45 seconds. Ali, come on in.
¿Qué tal, hermano?
Hermano, estoy bien. ¿Cómo va todo?
Good, man. It's real quick. You know, whenever you fill out applications, job applications, you see male, female, and of course you see transgender and the different variations. So I was filling out applications. I am a second generation American, parents of Pakistani origin. My kids are U.S. citizens born in the UAE. So I'm thinking if there's transgender, why not trans race? So I hereby declare the official category of trans race on all these applications and forms. You heard it here today on your show, February, what date is it, 15th?
February 13, 2024, to my transracial brother Ali. Okay?
Yeah, you heard it here first. Thanks,
All
brother.
right. Thank you, brother. You go on. Let's talk to brother Brian. How are you doing this morning, Brian?
I'm doing fine. If you don't vote, you have no say in your government. If
Brother,
you do not donate to this company, this establishment, you have nothing to say either. You should. Everyone listening should donate, whether you like it or not.
man, I love you, Brian. Brian, do you know how much I love you, brother? I appreciate that. I really appreciate that, especially coming from you, man. You're a great guy. I always knew deep in your heart you were a great guy. Anyway, what else is up? I know you gotta hit me with something, Brian. You can't just ask people to donate to the program. You have to hit me with something real quick. 20 seconds.
Oh, okay. In 20 seconds, yeah. The transgender shooter in Nashville just wanted to kill little rich white kids.
Oh,
now,
Lord.
Hidalgo now wanted to charge the transgendered female in the Lakewood Church shooter, wanted to charge her for a hate crime. It was
Hey,
all
Brian.
over the
Brian, I said 20 seconds. We'll discuss that another day. Thank you so kindly, my brother. All right, let's go to Patricio. Patrick, come on in.
Yeah, I wanted to ask you something, Roberto.
Yes, sir.
Roberto, what exactly? Can you summarize what you feel or what you want out of a government?
I want a bifurcated economy, and what I want the government to take care of are the things where people don't really have a legitimate choice. Let me give an example. If you break your leg, and I don't want you to have to first think, I can't afford this place, that place, because that is something that happens to us as human beings. So the things that we don't have real choices in, I think that is where we the people take care of. Having a pizza shop and all that kind of stuff, private, you do whatever you want. Creating a software package, you do whatever you want. I want us to have a humane, bifurcated economy where the government plays its part and private sector plays its part. And I think if we had a long enough talk, we could agree on that. Continue, my dear Patrick, before I go pitch.
I kind of asked because I kind of knew what your answer was, but I'm kind of poking you at not asking more people what they want out of government. You have very specific conversations with people, and it's very obvious that they either don't know what they want out of a government if they're asked, or if you ask them, you would probably get a lot more out of it.
Well, you know what? I look, wait. Don't leave. That's a good criticism. All right. First of all, that's a damn good criticism. And what I'll do, I can't do it right now. I want you, Patrick, to call back and you give that answer. We got a deal?
Sounds great.
All
Talk to you
right.
tomorrow.
Thank you. All right. Anyway, folks, 713-526-5738. Again, that number is 713-526-5738. Extension 1 to contribute. Extension 1 to contribute. And since I'm the lousiest pitcher, the only thing I want to add is, hey, have coffee with Egberto, a $250 contribution, $100 for my for the t-shirt, Politics and Right t-shirt with the KPFT logo, and hey, buy Politics Done Right a coffee a month. $5 a month. That's $5 a month sustainer. Buy Politics Done Right 2 coffees a month. That's a $10 sustainer. Buy 3 coffees a month. That's a $15 sustainer. I'm gonna throw it to our general manager because he pitches a lot better than I do.
It was a slider. That's all. That's it. It's the one pitch that'll get you. Hey, folks, we're having a good time on our Thankathon this winter. We really are. It's a lot of good camaraderie around KPFT. Things are proceeding really smoothly so far, and let's keep them going smoothly. Your call makes a big difference. We've had a couple of people step up, a couple more, and Egberto will be at his goal this morning. 713-526-5738, option 1. We've got about 5 minutes left. If you're thinking about it and you can't get to a phone right now, well, guess what? We're open 24 hours a day, 7 days a week at that phone number, and you can always make a pledge online as well at kpft.org. Don't risk life and limb or the people on the road next to you trying to do this while driving, but when you get to where you're going, do it then and put down Politics Done Right if that's what you want to acknowledge here. There are so many great shows and so many volunteers that come along to KPFT every week. It's amazing to watch the parade going in and out of the studio Monday to Friday, Saturday and Sunday, and seeing all the friendly faces and everybody so prepared to come in and do what they do. You know, they don't have to, but they want to. They don't have to be volunteering week after week, but they do it. They take it seriously. Take KPFT seriously. Take this form of communication amongst us seriously. Make that pledge. It does make a difference. 713-526-5738, option 1, or kpft.org. Come on, we can all get together and fund this station one more time here. It's been going on. It'll be 54 years old, March 1st, just a couple weeks away. We will be there. This drive ends, and we'll get out the celebratory gear and do our birthday right. 713-526-5738, option 1, or kpft.org. Don't let it pass you by. Please make that call. Thank you, Egberto.
Thank you. El Senor General Manager Sandy. Anyway, folks, we want to thank Jack Van Beber in the studio. We want to thank Howard Reynolds in the studio. We want to thank our General Manager Sandy for helping me pitch out here. My name is Egberto Willis. Please, 713-526-5738, extension number 1. You can still give. Remember to say it's for Politics and Right or kpft.org. Select Politics and Right as the program you're supporting at any time. You don't have to wait through the show at any time. My name is Egberto Willis. This is Politics and Right, and you guys know how I end this baby. I am what? Out.
You're listening to the American Democracy Minute, keeping your government by and for the people. A new study by Pew Research finds Americans broadly support such democracy reforms as making Election Day a holiday and 2 weeks of in-person early voting, but also think voters must use government-issued ID and vote